Hey everybody, my name is Lewis and this is Man Bites Film. Obviously you don't see my normal background behind me because this week we're going to be reviewing punk films as our theme. And in the heart of that, I want to really show you guys how underground, how punk the setup that I ended up having to do for this show. And I just wanted to give you guys a little bit behind the scenes of how I set up the show and how I made what you see on the camera, a little bit behind the magic, I guess. All right, first thing I want to show you guys, of course, is the setup for the actual backdrop itself. And yes, that is duct tape and pallet wood with cardboard and DVD inserts. Now, going behind this side, that's actually a piece of the counter of my cabinet that I took and formed it into basically a stand that looks like a desk. And yes, those are cinder blocks. And over this way, I have a rug that dampens the sound a little bit. The echo that you don't hear in the show is because of that. And yes, that's my microphone on top of a painting keg. And that thing over there is where I put my cues, my main points that I want to hit on the show. And of course, it's being held up by cat litter containers. Everything that you see that's kind of odd and weirdly placed is because I need it there for the dampening of the sounds. Yes, those are work lights. And that's an M&M back there that I don't even remember how I got that thing. I think it was a while ago. That's all I know. So that's pretty much a little bit of the behind the scenes of the show. Alright guys, so I hope you guys really appreciated seeing the behind the scenes of the show and how I make this actually come together just as you see it now, and all the work that each episode takes and is involved, because not only do I just record the show on video, I don't use the audio because I want to give you guys a good quality show. So I record it separately and I have to put it together and kind of sync up the sound and the video later on, and of course add the music that I'm gonna put, and also there's the backline music and the intro and all that involved in each episode that I make. And I really wanted to give you guys a glimpse of that, how it comes together every week. And pretty much I record the show about a week ahead of time. So I record it either Friday or Saturday, and I release it the following Friday. And now, without further ado, we're gonna actually review 3 great punk films. And I normally give at least one bad review, but this week I saw this film, CBGB. This film grabbed my attention so much that I had to put it as a feature review, which I was not going to do. This is the story of CBGB. It's a club in New York that started the punk movement. It grew the grassroots movement of punk. It gave a house to the Ramones, David Bowie performed there when he was first starting off. I mean, so many artists, Blondie, and it actually shows you in this movie all these different characters, all these different bands playing in the actual club. And this is not a club, it's a bar with a stage in it. All right, so let's go a little bit further back. Alan Rickman is the main character, and he is the one that discovers this bar, and he had a bad legacy of owning bars, and he always failed whenever he owned a bar. But he had vision for just owning something and just living in the moment. That's his lifestyle. That's what he thought, and that's the punk lifestyle. I mean, come on, this guy was the grandfather of punk. He started single-handedly started the punk movement in New York. If it wasn't for his club, a lot of the great punk bands that started at that point and all the bands that came after, as Green Day, etc., all these crazy guys, they wouldn't have come around if it wasn't for this guy. He created the movement, and this film captures that so well. How impactful his character was, how impactful his story and his willing to help people even though they were down in their luck. He was willing to find the good side of everybody, even the drug addict that was in the front of his bar. He took him in as a friend and gave him a place to work, gave him a home a place to call home. The guy was his best friend, and he was a junkie that any other person would have just looked the other way and said, "Get the fuck out of here, you're bothering my customers." No, he took him in and let him stay. Then there's a really funny little subplot that follows around that I just found amusing. Is his dog shits everywhere in the club. And people, again, it's punk, so they're like, "Oh hell yeah! I just walked into a shit pile of a dog. Hell yeah, I'm punk. Screw that." The show really really captures how the punk lifestyle was. And yes, it's kind of cliche-ish sometimes and all that stuff, but it works. It makes you feel like I did when I was in that lifestyle, when I enjoyed the punk lifestyle as a kid. And I really identified with the main character. Alan Rickman, again, does a freaking phenomenal performance. I've never seen an actor that he plays the same character. He always plays the down in his luck, kind of sarcastic, British dry humor character, but he does it so well that he just takes this performance and takes it to another level that I've never seen before. If it wasn't for him in this film, it probably wouldn't have caught my attention as much as it did. This is a great movie, currently streaming on Netflix. I gave this a 9 out of 10, which is very rare, and this was near perfect. They actually have one scene that I'm not going to spoil the film. I'm just going to give you this one scene that they're about to give up. He's like, "All right, I'm really done with this shit. I'm losing my money. I'm tired of it." And he sits down one last band that he wants to book to perform in his club. And he sits down and listens, and he says his normal line, "If you play too loud, I'm gonna walk out." And you know who performs? This grabbed my emotions. I felt it. I just got that tingle, the goosebumps, because it was that great. This guy turns around and they start playing Roxanne. And it's Sting singing Roxanne. It's the Police performing their first live show at CBGB. And all Alan Rickman says is, "This is a sound. This is a sound." And I loved it. That I came straight from there, from finishing the movie, straight into here. And it's all inspiring ending to a film. I went on Netflix and I gave it a 5-star. That's how good it was. 5 stars on Netflix, which I never do. The only other films, I could count them with my hand how many films got that on Netflix. Alright, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10 because obviously there's a couple mistakes with it. There's a couple issues that I had with it. Like, there was this whole subplot that I did not get. I don't understand why they put a subplot about a magazine, the Punk magazine. It was just weird the way that they established that plot. It had no point. They could have cut that out completely and just made the film straight plot driven. Alright, so that's the only reason I gave it less than that. Now I want to give you guys the feature artist for this week. please watch this music video and check out their music. I'll try to put a link below of any other websites, anything else that you could actually hear them at. All right, see you guys in a couple minutes. Hope you guys enjoy the music. Hell yeah. That is an awesome freaking song. Alright guys, so the next film this was gonna be my feature review for this, but I couldn't help it. I saw this film and I had to make this my feature. So now I'm gonna give you guys my secondary feature review for this Punk episode, and it is SLC Punk. I love this film. I grew up just like these guys. Not as crazy. I didn't get into the lifestyle as crazy as they did. I was still in high school when I got into punk, and after high school, I just completely grew out of it real quick. This is a coming of age film for two characters that started off basically as upper middle class kids that were listening to Rush, and they wanted to fight the establishment. They wanted to break away from their parents' just self-absorbedness and materialistic thing. They're fighting their cause. They're creating their own agenda. They wanted to fight the establishment. They wanted to say, I don't want to hear this shit. I don't want to talk about you guys. I don't want to hear about politics. I want to just say,
I love you guys. Don't get me wrong. It's all about this. But for the first time in my life, I'm 18 and I can say, fuck you!
and that is one of my favorite clips too. So I love that line. I love that clip, and I don't know how many times I've said that because it's so freaking good. All right, so this is the type of film it is. It follows these two characters, and they actually get, I guess they grow up. They grow up and they become who they're supposed to be. It's told as a lawyer is presenting his case study about punks. You know, you present the different styles, the different everything, you know, you have all your evidence, and then you come with your conclusion at the very end of the film. This film wraps up neatly in a nice little bow, and it gives it to you perfectly. It's a coming of age film, and it's identified as a coming of age film. This is only currently streaming on Amazon, and I gave this film a 9 out of 10. It is one of my favorite all-time punk films until I just saw CBGB, and I don't know, I think CBGB might knock out SLC Punk. It just very well might. Alright, so now the other film that isn't as strong as the other two is Exit Through the Gift Shop. This was actually brought to my attention. It's a documentary, not about punks per se, but about street art. And it follows this wannabe filmmaker that he just likes carrying a camera around. It's this French creepy guy, and he liked just filming everything. That's what it started off as, a documentary about him. And it goes into him discovering street art and finding all the nuances that they do and all the real art that these guys actually do with a graffiti can, with paint, with stickers, all this stuff. And it's really cool, all the stuff that they bring up to in the documentary, all the Banksy stuff. Banksy's really freaking great. I never really knew the whole story about that until I saw this documentary, and it's actually a documentary done by Banksy. He's the one that puts together all this footage and makes this documentary, because this guy was a failed artist. He made his money and all that stuff, but he's not a real artist. So Banksy decided, you know what? This pretentious guy, I'm gonna grab this footage that he had, which he had tapes and tapes and tapes of footage. I mean, buckets, tall buckets full of tapes from his recordings of all these artists. And he just shit on everybody when he released his documentary. So Banksy decided to grab the reins and took it and ran. And he made this documentary, and it is so good. Streaming on Netflix. I gave this one an 8 out of 10 because it's good. It has its flaws though. Mostly I just really don't like the main character. I really don't like him. So that's the only main flaw. I really appreciate you guys sticking around as long as you guys have, or if you guys are just starting watching the show, I really hope you guys stick around and watch more episodes. I'm going to be adding to the production value of the show, hopefully within the next couple months, make it better. I'm working on suggestions that you guys have given me. Please give me suggestions, because I actually do take it serious, and it evolves this show as much as I can. I'm trying to work with other people as well to try to create basically a network here. So please let me know how we're doing here, and let me know what I'm missing, what you would like to see, or if you want me to review a particular film, you want my rendition of it, please let me know, because I will definitely do that. Alright, so I'll see you guys next week, like always, every Friday. This is Man Bites Film, and my name is Lewis.